I'm Laura. I'm the CEO of VMV Hypoallergenics. We're here to save the world's skin by making the safest, most proven effective care on the planet. And we do that by basically allergen emission. We look at the thousands and thousands and thousands of patch tests done in multiple countries and top contact allergens published from those studies in peer-reviewed journals, and we omit them from our formulations. You can find a video on that. It's called the VH rating system here on our YouTube channel, and there's a nice blog article that we have on vmvinskin.com that explains the validated hypoallergenic rating system that basically shows you how many of the top 109 contact allergens are excluded from a formulation that we have. And if there's an allergen that's in the formulation, it'll be marked with an asterisk that you then can see in the ingredient list that's also underlined, so you really can't miss it. Because it's highly unlikely you'll be allergic to all 109 top contact allergens. So if you, for example, patch tested positive to fragrance, then if you see a VMV product that has a lower VH rating, say VH 108 over 109, and you look at the ingredient list and the asterisk shows that the included allergen is for example, tocopherol acetate or vitamin E, then you know you can still use the product. And in terms of efficacy, we cover that by publishing our clinical studies. It's kind of the holy grail to get one study published in a peer-reviewed journal, and thanks to my mother, who is our founding dermatologist and dermatopathologist, we have over 75. She has over 200 herself, but related to VMV or on VMV, it's 75 plus. Today, I'll be giving you the skinny on our wildly popular Armada Sun and Light Screens. I'll be going into them in detail, but basically you have face cover 30, face cover 45, and face and body shield 60. These are sort of our classics. And then this thing, which it's a tester, so I apologize for the sticker, but the Armada Sport 70. And then our purely mineral sunscreens, which are Armada Post Procedure and Armada Baby 50 plus. The importance of sun and light protection, I think we're all fairly aware at this point, right? Skin cancer is a real thing. It is important. And I think it's still not as widely understood, but should be, that skin cancer can happen on any skin tone, on any race. Very, very, very pale skin to very, very dark skin. In fact, because people with darker skin tones aren't as obsessively drilled to check for skin cancer, it can sometimes be more dangerous because it's discovered later when it might already be more serious. So definitely wear a sunscreen every single day, particularly when you're outside, to protect against sun-induced skin cancer. Some quick things to know about sun and light screens. You'll notice at VMV we talk about sun and light because it isn't just sun. So SPF is sun protection factor. This is measured protection against UVB, which is not actually what I'm getting today, which is quite cloudy where I am. UVB is usually present on bright, cloudless days. It's really strong sunlight outdoors, and UVB does not penetrate windows. UVB can cause skin cancer, can cause skin aging, irradiates the skin, all that stuff. UVA is ultraviolet A and is as important. And unlike UVB, I can get UVA on a cloudy day like today, and it can penetrate windows. You need to use sun and light screen every single day, whether or not you're indoors and out. And with sun damage, it's actually cumulative throughout your life. So even the little sun that you get sort of crossing the street or that comes through a window while you're working, that counts. That accumulates in your skin damage, right? So UVA can actually penetrate deeper, is what tans your skin, which is why UVA tanning beds, not a good idea. The damage can be deeper. It can cause many different skin and health problems. So it's really important to protect against UVA. The sunscreen monograph in the United States has been changing. Doesn't seem to yet be final. So a lot of things are still sort of in the air. But as of right now, SPF is world recognized as the tested protection factor for UVB. UVA is shown on labels of products differently. In some places, it's just UVA, like plus plus. It's PFA. We use PFA. Other places, it's star rating. In the United States, as long as your SPF is 30 or above, you can claim broad spectrum, and this is meant to be understood as both UVB and UVA protective. On our sun and light screens, we specify SPF and PFA, protection factor A. Other light that can affect skin is visible light. That is actually really interesting. My mother started really doing tests on that and publishing her studies on that in the early 90s. And she really showed that indoor lights at the time, much more popular, halogens, but also fluorescents, and now certainly visible light, blue light from our computer screens and our gadgets and tablets, all of that can cause hyperpigmentation. And at VMV, we measure the protection of our sun and light screens against visible light with PFV. And we also measure protection against infrared rays. Infrared is from heat, and that can also cause hyperpigmentations and other skin damage. And you might get that from if you're in a sauna, if you're outdoors on a very hot day, also though from cooking. So we tend to see a lot of customers and patients who might have hyperpigmentation on the face from cooking, and then when you have photoallergens like garlic wafting up and getting to the skin that way, garlic is a big photoallergen, and then combined with the heat and infrared, then it can really cause hyperpigmentation on the face, but also on the hands from that heat. One more thing about sunscreens that's important to keep in mind. There's a bit of a debate now still happening about nanoparticles. Nanoparticles are sort of, as they imply, very small molecular sizes of sunscreen ingredients. They feel better. They're much nicer on the skin. They really leave no cast, no film. They're so nice and lovely. However, they're very small. So some of the debates surrounding the use of nanoparticles include things like penetration past the epidermis. Can this get to the dermis? Can it get to the bloodstream? Also, are they reef safe? Because they can really get out into the water and stay there for quite a long time. A third concern is sort of a best practice golden rule in hypoallergenicity is the smaller the molecule, the riskier in terms of allergic reaction. So we tend to try to use products that have larger molecules anyway to begin with. But these debates are some of the reasons why we don't use nanoparticles at VMV. The REEF safety, we still don't know really how much of this gets into the bloodstream, and certainly the risk of allergenicity. Our classic favorites, our bestsellers for indoor and outdoor sun and light protection are the 30, 45, and 60 Armada. They're very similar products. They're all tested for, you'll see SPF, you'll see PFA, PFV, PFI, all right up here. So these protect a really nice range of light in the light spectrum, making them excellent for daily use, especially if you're concerned about hyperpigmentation. Hyperpigmentation tends to be a concern among people with brown skin tones, but that does not mean just darker skin tones. I'm relatively pale, but I'm multiracial, and I am really prone to hyperpigmentations. Very darker tones can also be prone to hyperpigmentations. So that would be more of our concern, as well as, of course, photoaging and skin cancer. Armada 30, 45, and 60 would be great options for daily indoor and outdoor sun and light protection. And basically the difference between them is preference and texture. So we would say, for example, if you have oilier skin, tend to want a lighter cream on, your melasma isn't so pronounced, maybe it's just starting or you just want to prevent it for now, the Armada Face Cover 30 would be your bet. If you sort of have combination skin, some patches of oily, some patches of dry, your melasma is there. It's not so severe, but you do need, good honest melasma protection. Armada Face Cover 45 would be your go-to. And then if your skin is quite dry or your melasma is something more to contend with, then we would recommend the Armada Face and Body Shield 60. Our purely mineral sun and light screens are Armada Baby and Armada Post Procedure, which are both really excellent purely mineral sun and light screens. But what's really interesting about them that is important to know is that they are very thick on purpose because they double as physical barriers, almost like wearing a coat that can really help allergic or very sensitive skin feel better, be more protected against external contaminants and allergens and pollutants and stuff in the world at large. So Armada Baby is one such product. It's very thick. I actually use this for the most part every day. I use it on my kids as well. This is actually something that we are sort of in the middle of repackaging because it's almost 2 ounces, about 50 grams of product, but it's very, very thick. And when you squeeze it, it can be really difficult to squeeze out, in part also because of the air displacement. But we need to get a thinner tube with a smaller opening to help with this, and that's in the works, and I apologize because I do know it can be hard to squeeze out. And I actually got me one of these, which is just a very, very simple tube squeezer that I found online, and I basically put it in like that, and I roll it down to squeeze it out. And then when it gets to about here, close to the end, then it's much easier to push out. There's less air, there's less volume that needs displacing to get it out. Armada Baby, as you can imagine, great for babies, can also be used on the diaper area, great as a barrier cream for babies, and certainly for you if you have very sensitive skin. Barrier cream if you need really good indoor and outdoor sun and light protection, but maybe also a physical barrier against contaminants. Its kissing cousin is the Armada Post Procedure Barrier Cream, and they're both 50 plus, Armada Baby and Armada Post Procedure. Very, very similar, also very thick. The primary difference would be Armada Post Procedure is subtly tinted green to counteract redness. So if you have rosacea, you tend to be photosensitive, hyperreactive, this is a great option for you. It's also nice, as it says, post-procedure, because a lot of procedures or peels, if you're doing at-home stuff that makes you very red, this can be a great option to cancel out some of that redness. Last but not least, this might be our absolute all-time best-selling product everywhere in the world. We can't keep it in stock, is Armada Sport 70. It is primarily for outdoor use, really extreme conditions. Very, very hot, very, very sunny. You're doing extreme sports. You're in and out of the water. You're really sweating. This is a wonderful product for that. It creates almost like a second skin kind of barrier that stays really on for a while, even in and out of water and through sweating and through all that hot, hot sun. All the guidelines will tell you it's best to reapply your sunscreen, no matter the formulation, every 2 hours, and after coming out of the water and after toweling off. So that's just a good idea, period. But this is a wonderful sunscreen that really keeps its integrity, throughout all these sort of really hyper intense activities. I suggest applying it maybe 15-20 minutes before going out in the sun, just to make sure it's really on there. Other great tips for sun and light protection. One of the biggest ones is really layering. You put your sunscreen on and then say your concealer, foundation, powder, because all of those things act like physical layers. It really is added protection, especially if your concern is hyperpigmentation. A quick tip on hyperpigmentation, obviously your sun and light screen every single day, but do try to avoid photoallergens in as many things as possible. Photoallergens, many allergens are photoallergens, and some of the top culprits are fragrance, dyes, and bleaches and disinfectants, and many preservatives too. So if you can avoid that in your makeup and your other skincare and your hair, body, and bath care, that would really go a long way towards helping you prevent the hyperpigmentation. And if it's extremely stubborn, ask your dermatologist about a photo patch test, because you could be gardening, for example, as one of your favorite hobbies, and a lot of plants happen to be photoallergens. So you might need to take extra care, for example. That's the Skinny on Armada. I hope you found that helpful. These are some of our most beloved, most popular products everywhere that they're available. And they're really, really wonderful for protection for all the concerns that you have: sun-induced photo aging, hyperpigmentation, full spectrum of light, UVA, UVB, visible light, infrared rays, everything that you could possibly be concerned about regarding your sun and light care, which is why it's called Armada. It's like your battalion. It got your back and it got you covered. I hope you found this helpful. Please definitely let us know if you have any questions. Write in the comments anything else you'd like us to cover. And don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much. See you next time.